I spent 7 days following 14 quiet cleaning habits, and by the third morning, something in my home had already begun to shift. Not the furniture, not the walls, something deeper. The air felt lighter, my mind felt clearer, and for the first time in months I walked through my own rooms without that small, constant weight I didn't even know I was carrying. I'm not here to tell you that your home needs more work. I'm here to tell you that it might need less effort, less noise. Less of the endless doing that leaves you tired before the day even begins. These habits I'm about to share come from a way of living that honors rest as much as work, that treats cleaning not as a chore to survive, but as a form of care, a form of respect. For your space, yes, but mostly for yourself. If you stay with me until the end, you'll see how small, quiet actions, repeated with intention, can change not just how your home looks, but how it feels to live inside it. And maybe, just maybe, how it feels to be you. So let me walk you through what I learned, not as rules, but as invitations. Tip 1. I started every morning by opening the windows. The first habit was the simplest. Every morning, before anything else, I opened the windows. Not for long, just 5 minutes, sometimes 10. I let the old air leave and the new air arrive. I stood there for a moment, feeling the coolness touch my face, hearing the quiet sounds from outside. Birds, a distant car. The rustle of leaves, it sounds like nothing, doesn't it? But it changed the entire feeling of my day, because when you let fresh air into your home, you're not just refreshing the rooms, you're refreshing yourself. You're telling your body, your mind, that this is a new beginning, that yesterday's heaviness doesn't have to live here today. Stale air carries more than dust. It carries the feeling of yesterday's worries, yesterday's tiredness. And when you release it, you release something in yourself too. I used to wake up and go straight to the kitchen, straight to my tasks, straight into the doing. But this simple pause, this moment of opening, became the calmest part of my morning. It doesn't matter if it's cold outside, it doesn't matter if it's raining, you can open just one window, just for a moment. Let the world touch your home. Let your home breathe. This isn't about perfect air quality or following a rule. This is about beginning your day with intention, with awareness, with a gentle signal to yourself that today you are choosing lightness. Tip 2. I cleaned as I moved. Not after I lived for years. I would let things pile up. A cup on the table, a towel on the chair, papers near the door. I told myself I would clean later, after I rested, after I had time. But later never felt good. Later meant facing a mess that made me tired just looking at it. This habit taught me something different. It taught me to clean as I moved through my day. Not in a hurried way, not in a stressed way, just naturally, as part of living. When I finished my tea, I rinsed the cup and put it away. When I used a towel, I hung it back. When I took off my shoes, I placed them where they belonged. It sounds so small, but those small moments added up. By the end of each day, there was almost nothing left to do, because I had already done it, quietly, gently, without even noticing. This isn't about being perfect. It's about not saving all the work for one tired moment at the end of the day. When you clean as you move, you're not adding more to your life. You're removing the weight of later. You're living in a home that stays light because you tend to it softly, continuously, the way you would tend to a plant or a friendship. You don't wait until the plant is dying to water it. You give it a little care each day. Your home is the same. Tip 3. I took off my shoes at the door. I used to walk through my home in the same shoes I wore outside. I didn't think much of it. It was just what I did. But this habit asked me to pause at the threshold, to remove my shoes before I entered. At first it felt like an extra step, something small and unnecessary. But within 2 days I understood. When I took off my shoes, I wasn't just keeping the floors cleaner. I was marking a boundary. I was saying, this is where the outside world ends, this is where my peace begins. I was leaving the noise, the dust, the rushing energy of the day at the door, and I was stepping into something softer. My floors stayed cleaner, yes. But more than that, my mind stayed calmer, because every time I removed my shoes, I was also removing the tension I had carried home with me. I was choosing, in that small moment, to enter my space differently, to enter it with respect, with intention. This habit doesn't require anything expensive. Just a small space near the door, a place for your shoes to rest, a place for you to pause and remember that home is not where you bring everything. Home is where you let things go. Homes are different all over the world, yet calm feels the same everywhere. From which part of the world are you watching this? I'd love to read your comment. Your comment helps this community grow. Tip 4. I put things back in the same place. Every time I used to search for things, my keys, my glasses, the remote, every day, small searches that added up to large frustrations. This habit taught me to choose a place for everything and then honor that place, not sometimes, every time. When I came home, my keys went in the same small dish. My glasses went on the same table. My bag went on the same chair. It sounds almost too simple, but it changed everything. Because when you know where things are, you're not just saving time, you're saving mental energy. You're removing one more small decision from a mind that's already carrying so much. You're not wondering. You're not searching. You're not feeling that quiet frustration that comes from not being able to find what you need when you need it. Your home becomes easier to live in, not because it's more organized, but because it's more knowable, more predictable, more yours. And when you walk through a space where everything has a place, you feel it. You feel the calm that comes from order. Not strict order, gentle order, the kind that supports you instead of demanding from you. This habit asks for a little consistency, that's all. Just the willingness to return things to where they live, so that your home can support you instead of confuse you. Tip 5. I folded things with care, not speed. I used to fold my clothes quickly. Get it done, move on. Next task. But this habit asked me to slow down, to fold each item with care, with attention, not because it had to be perfect, but because the act itself was a form of respect. When you fold something slowly, you're not wasting time. You're creating time. You're turning a chore into a moment of calm. I noticed the texture of the fabric, the warmth if it had just come from the dryer, the softness against my hands. I folded each shirt, each towel, each cloth as if it mattered, because it did. And something surprising happened. My drawers became easier to open. My shelves became easier to look at. Everything fit better, felt better. But more than that, I felt better, because I had slowed down. I had given myself permission to do something simple, without rushing, without judging myself for taking my time. This habit isn't about making your closet look like a store. It's about treating the small tasks of life as worthy of your presence, your care. When you fold with attention, you're not just organizing fabric, you're organizing your mind, you're practicing gentleness with yourself, and that gentleness stays with you long after the folding is done. Tip 6. I cleaned little by little, not all at once. I used to wait until the whole house felt too messy to ignore. Then I would spend hours trying to fix everything in one exhausting afternoon. I would feel proud for a day, then tired for a week. This habit taught me something wiser. It taught me to clean little by little. Just 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, one counter in the morning, one corner in the evening. Not everything, just something. And by the end of the week, everything had been touched, everything had been cared for. But I was never exhausted because I had honored my energy. I had worked with it, not against it. This is especially important as we grow older. Our bodies don't have the same strength they once did. Our energy doesn't bounce back the way it used to. But that doesn't mean we can't have a clean, peaceful home. It just means we do it differently, more gently, more sustainably. 10 minutes of wiping surfaces is enough. 15 minutes of organizing one drawer is enough. You don't need to do it all, you just need to do a little. Consistently, kindly, and when you do, you'll notice that your home never feels overwhelming. Because you're never letting it get to that point. You're tending to it the way a gardener tends to a garden. A little each day, with patience, with presence. Tip 7. I kept only what I used and loved. This was the hardest habit for me because it asked me to let go, not of trash, not of broken things, but of things that were still good, still useful, still might be needed someday. This habit asked me to look at each object and ask 2 questions. Do I use this? Do I love this? If the answer to both was no, I let it go. I gave it to someone who would use it. I donated it. I released it with gratitude for what it had once been and with peace for what it no longer was. And my home opened up. Not just physically, though yes, there was more space, but emotionally, mentally, Because every object you own asks something of you. It asks to be seen, to be moved, to be cleaned around, to be remembered, and when you have too many objects, you carry too much weight. This habit isn't about living with nothing. It's about living with enough, with intention, with things that serve your life now, not the life you used to live or the life you think you should live. When I kept only what I used and loved, I felt lighter. My home felt easier, and I stopped feeling guilty about what I wasn't using because it was no longer there to remind me. Tip 8. I cleaned the bathroom every morning before leaving. This habit took 2 minutes, maybe 3. Every morning after I finished in the bathroom, I wiped down the sink. I wiped the counter, I straightened the towels. It felt like nothing. But by the end of the week, my bathroom never felt dirty. It never needed a deep clean, because it had never gotten the chance to get messy. The water didn't sit long enough to leave marks. The soap didn't sit long enough to build up. The towels never stayed crumpled long enough to feel careless. And every time I walked into that room, I felt cared for. Because the space itself felt cared for. This habit works for any room. The kitchen counter after cooking, the table after eating, the bedroom before you leave it in the morning. You don't need to scrub, you don't need to reorganize, you just need to tidy as you finish. To leave the space a little softer than you found it. And when you do, you're not cleaning for some future version of yourself. You're creating peace for the version of yourself who will return to that space later. You're being kind to yourself across time. Tip 9. I cleared surfaces before I went to sleep. Every night before bed, I cleared the surfaces. The kitchen counter, the coffee table, the bedside table. I put things back where they belonged. I wiped away crumbs. I folded the blanket on the couch. It took 5 minutes, maybe less, but the difference it made was enormous. Because when I woke up the next morning, I didn't wake up to chaos. I didn't wake up to yesterday's mess. I woke up to clarity, to calm, to a space that felt ready to hold me gently through a new day. Starting the day in a clear space changes how you feel about everything. You feel more in control, more capable, more at peace, and you didn't have to do anything extreme to create that feeling. You just had to end your day with a few moments of care. This habit became one of my favorites because it was like giving a gift to my future self, a gift of ease, a gift of peace. And every morning I received that gift with gratitude. Tip 10. I treated cleaning as meditation, not work. This was the habit that changed everything, because it asked me to stop seeing cleaning as something I had to get through and start seeing it as something I could be present for. When I wiped a surface, I focused on the motion, the smoothness of the cloth, the shine that appeared. When I folded clothes, I focused on the rhythm, the softness, the simple repetition. I stopped thinking about what I still had to do. I stopped rushing to finish. I just did what was in front of me, slowly, gently, with attention, and something shifted. Cleaning stopped feeling like a chore. It started feeling like care, like calm, like a break from the noise in my mind. I wasn't cleaning to get it over with. I was cleaning to be present, to move my body, to create something simple and good. And when I finished, I didn't feel drained. I felt centered. This habit doesn't ask you to love cleaning. It just asks you to be with it, to notice it, to let it be something quiet and steady in your day. Because when you approach any task with presence, it stops being a burden. It becomes a form of peace. Tip 11. I let go of perfection and welcomed good enough. I used to think my home needed to be perfect. Everything in place, everything shining, everything exactly right, but perfection is exhausting, and it's impossible. This habit taught me to welcome good enough. Good enough means the bed is made even if the corners aren't tucked. Good enough means the dishes are washed even if the counter isn't spotless. Good enough means the living room is tidy even if there's a book on the couch. Good enough is kind, it's realistic, it's sustainable, and it allowed me to stop feeling like I was failing every time something wasn't perfect. Because the goal was never perfection. The goal was peace. And peace doesn't come from flawless surfaces. It comes from a home that feels cared for, a home that feels lived in, a home that holds you without demanding more than you can give. This habit gave me permission to rest, to stop, to say, this is enough. And when I did, I stopped carrying so much guilt, so much pressure. I just lived. and my home supported me in that living. Tip 12. I removed unnecessary visual noise. I used to have things everywhere, on the counters, on the shelves, on every surface, decorations, papers, objects I thought made the space feel full, but they didn't make it feel full. They made it feel crowded. This habit asked me to clear away the visual noise, to leave only what was truly needed, what was truly loved. And when I did, my home became quieter, not in sound, in feeling. My eyes had fewer places to land. My mind had fewer things to process. I could look at a room and just see space, just see calm. This doesn't mean your home has to be empty. It just means it doesn't have to be cluttered. Every object you see asks for a little bit of your attention, and when there are too many objects, your attention is pulled in too many directions. You feel scattered without knowing why. When I removed the extra, I felt more focused, more present, more at ease in my own space, because my home was no longer asking so much of me. It was just holding me, quietly, gently. Tip 13. I created small rituals of gratitude. This habit wasn't about cleaning at all, but it made everything else feel different. Every evening before I cleared the surfaces, I paused. I looked around my home and said, "Thank you. Thank you for the roof. Thank you for the warmth. Thank you for the bed that holds me. Thank you for the space that keeps me safe." It felt simple, almost silly at first, but gratitude changes how you see things. When you're grateful for your home, you don't resent cleaning it. You care for it the way you would care for something precious, because it is precious. It's not just walls and floors, it's the place where you rest, where you heal, where you begin and end each day. And when you treat it with gratitude, every small act of care becomes meaningful. You're not just wiping a counter, you're honoring the space that serves you. You're not just folding a towel, you're tending to the life you've built. This habit softened everything. It turned cleaning into something sacred, something chosen, something done with love. Tip 14. I stopped waiting for motivation and just started small. The last habit was the most important, because I used to wait until I felt motivated to clean, until I felt energized, until I felt ready. And most days, I never felt ready, so nothing got done, and the weight grew heavier. This habit taught me to stop waiting, to just start, small, gentle, without pressure. Just one thing, one surface, one corner. I didn't need to feel like it, I just needed to do it. And once I started, something always shifted. The first step was the hardest. But after that, the next step came easier, and the next, and the next. Not because I suddenly felt motivated, but because I had already begun. And beginning is everything. This habit freed me from the trap of waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect energy, because there is no perfect moment. There is only now, and now is always enough to start small. So here's what I learned after 7 days of living these 14 quiet habits. My home didn't transform into something perfect. It transformed into something peaceful, and I didn't become someone who loves cleaning. I became someone who understands that caring for my space is a way of caring for myself. These habits aren't about doing more, they're about doing less, but with more presence, more intention, more gentleness. You don't have to follow all 14. You don't have to start today. But if you choose just one small habit that spoke to you, and you practice it gently, without judgment, you'll feel the difference. Not in the walls, not in the furniture, but in yourself. Which of these habits felt most familiar to you? Or which one surprised you? I'd love to know. Leave a comment and share what touched your heart today. And if this video brought you even a small sense of calm, please subscribe to this channel and activate the notifications. There's more gentle wisdom coming, and I'd be honored to have you here for it. Before we finish, let me share something with you. If you want to keep your home truly clean, organized, and pleasant without effort or excess, I've prepared a complete guide with simple recipes, a gentle weekly routine, and methods that help everything feel lighter. The link is in the first pinned comment. Now take what spoke to your heart today and try it calmly at your own pace. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for choosing peace.